Hey, everybody, and welcome back for another deep dive with us.
It's great to be back.
You know how this works.
Yep.
We take a whole bunch of sources,
We do.
and we try to pull out the most important stuff,
Good stuff.
the stuff that you really need to know.
Exactly.
And today,
Yeah.
we are diving into
Oh,
cybersecurity alerting systems
important stuff.
for SMBs,
Yes, very important.
small and medium-sized businesses.
That's us.
Yeah,
Probably a lot of our listeners, too.
I would think so.
Yeah.
And, this is something that we hear a lot about
I
in
know.
news and all this stuff, but
It's
always
guys.
seems like it's targeted towards
Yeah.
like massive corporations.
Yeah. Right. Huge companies
With
with tons of resources.
tons of
And
resources.
absolutely. But the reality is,
Yeah.
this is something that is absolutely critical for businesses of all sizes,
All sizes, absolutely.
especially now.
Yeah.
That's
Especially now.
everything is digital. Right.
Everything is digital.
So much of our business is
Yeah.
taking place online.
Yeah.
So let's start with the why.
Okay.
Like, why should
Why should we care?
small businesses, why
Right.
should they even care about these
Yeah.
alerting systems?
Right. What's the big deal?
What's the big deal?
Well, I mean, think about it.
Yeah.
Think about all of the valuable assets
Yeah.
that every business has.
Totally.
I mean,
customer data,
customer data.
financial records,
Mm-hmm.
maybe even like
Oh, yeah.
trade secrets.
Absolutely.
This stuff all lives digitally these days.
It does. It really does.
Right.
Yeah.
And so these alerting systems are kind of like,
They're like the safeguards.
Yeah.
They're the watchdogs.
yeah,
Constantly monitoring your networks and your
Exactly.
systems
right.
for any sign of trouble.
So it's not just about
Yeah.
like preventing hackers from stealing information,
No.
but it's also about protecting the business from the fallout of a security breach.
That's right. That's right.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, imagine
Oh.
the damage a data breach could do to a small business.
Huge.
Right. You think about like
Yeah.
the financial costs of recovering that data, the
Absolutely.
potential lawsuits,
Yep.
the hit to your reputation.
Totally.
It could be
Devastating.
devastating. It really could.
And so these systems are designed to,
They're designed to help you avoid
yeah,
those nightmares.
that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
It's not just about technology.
No,
It's about protecting the entire business.
protecting your livelihood.
Yeah. And you mentioned trust before.
Oh,
And I think that's a really important point too, because
huge.
customers
Yeah.
are more aware than ever
Absolutely.
about data security.
They are.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so if your business suffers a breach,
Right.
it can erode that trust and that loyalty
Absolutely.
that you've built up.
And that can take a long time to rebuild.
And it can take years.
Right.
Sometimes you never get it back.
And so having
Yeah.
robust security measures in place
Right.
demonstrates to your customers that
It shows them that you care.
you take their privacy seriously.
Take it seriously.
Yeah.
You're not messing around.
It's almost like a competitive advantage
It is.
in a way.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's showing that you're ahead of the curve
Wow.
when it comes to protecting your customers' data.
It's a selling point.
But let's not sugarcoat things.
No.
The threats out there are constantly evolving.
Constantly.
Right.
Yeah.
New viruses, new hacking techniques.
All the time.
It's like a constant cat and mouse game.
It is a cat and mouse game.
And that's why these systems are so important.
So important.
Okay, so I'm getting a better picture of the why here.
Okay, good.
So let's talk about
Yeah.
the systems themselves.
Let's get into it.
What are we dealing with here?
Okay.
We've got a few acronyms to unpack.
We
We
do
do a few.
IDS piece. We've got FAM.
Uh-huh.
We've got WAF.
We do.
And then we've got like good old
Classic
antivirus software.
Yeah, the OG.
Right.
The original gangster.
So let's break it down, starting with
Let's do it. Okay, so-
IDSIPs, intrusion detection,
Yep.
and prevention systems.
That's right.
Think of these as like your first line of defense.
Yeah, your front line.
Okay.
Uh-huh. They're analyzing network traffic
Yeah. They're looking at all the data
in real time,
constantly in real time.
looking for any suspicious patterns
Uh-huh. Anything that looks funky.
that could indicate an attack.
That's right.
So it's almost like
It is.
having a
Yeah.
security guard
Uh-huh.
posted
Yeah.
at the entrance to your network,
At the gate.
checking everyone's ID,
Checking IDs.
making sure that nobody's suspicious.
No bad guys.
Yeah,
Gets in.
that's a great analogy.
Right.
I like that one.
And the best part is, that some of these systems
Uh-huh.
can not only alert you to potential threats, but they can also automatically block them
They can.
before they can cause damage.
That's the prevention part.
That's the prevention part of IPS.
Exactly.
Right.
Yep.
So it's not just about reacting to attacks.
No.
It's about actually preventing them in the first place.
Proactive security.
I love it.
Yes.
Okay, so let's move on to FIM.
FIM.
File integrity monitoring.
Okay.
This one's a bit more specialized.
It is a bit more niche.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This focuses on protecting your most critical files.
The important stuff.
The important stuff.
Yeah.
Things like financial records, customer databases.
Proprietary code.
Proprietary code. So if somebody tries to tamper with those files,
will catch them red-handed.
Red-handed.
Right.
Yep.
It works by creating like a baseline
Yes.
of what those files should look like. And then it's constantly monitoring, always watching.
Any change.
No matter how small.
Yeah, even a tiny one.
And if something changes that shouldn't, you get an alert.
You get a notification.
And this is incredibly helpful in catching like insider threats.
Insider threats.
Right.
Absolutely.
Where somebody within the company might be trying to do something they shouldn't.
Sneaky.
So it's like having an extra set of eyes on your most sensitive data.
Always watching.
Yeah, making sure that nobody's messing with it.
Nobody's messing around.
All right, let's talk about WFs.
Okay.
Web application firewalls.
Web application firewall.
These are specifically designed to protect your web applications.
That's right.
Okay, so if IDSPS is the security guard for the whole network, is WF like the bouncer at the door?
Ooh, I like that.
Of your website.
I like that a lot.
Right.
Yeah.
So if your business has a website,
an online store, a contact form,
anything interactive.
Yeah. You need a WEF.
You need a WEF.
They protect against
Which they do.
Common web application attacks like
like SQL injection.
And cross-site scripting.
Cross-site scripting.
Okay, so what happens in those attacks?
Okay.
Like what's going on there?
With SQL injection, hackers can manipulate your website's code to sneak into your database and steal sensitive information.
Okay.
And then cross-site scripting is more about hijacking user accounts.
Oh, wow.
And tricking visitors into running malicious code.
So it's basically like...
It's bad news.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And WAFs block these attacks. But
they block them.
It can do any damage.
They stop them in their tracks.
Okay, so it's really specialized protection.
It is.
For your website.
Yeah.
Which is often the most public-facing part of your business.
Yeah, that's your storefront. Right. That's how people see you.
And finally, we have antivirus software.
Your cleft.
Tried and true workhorse of cybersecurity.
It's still essential.
Still essential for catching known malware threats.
Those pesky viruses.
Yeah, the digital viruses and bugs that can infect your systems.
Absolutely.
So it's like having a good
immune system. For your computer.
For your computers, exactly.
Right. Antivirus acts as a first line of defense.
It does.
Scanning files and programs for known malware signatures.
Yeah, those little fingerprints they leave behind.
And preventing them from causing harm.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a really good overview, I think, of the different types of systems.
Yeah.
But I'm guessing it's not all smooth sailing.
It's not.
In the real world.
No.
What are some of the challenges that SMBs face when it comes to using these alerting systems?
Good question.
You're right. Running a small business
it's tough.
No easy feat.
No.
Always
hustling.
Juggling a million things.
Absolutely.
Resources are often stretched thin.
Yeah.
And I imagine that can make implementing these systems a real challenge.
A huge challenge.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So what are
the biggest hurdles?
I think one of the biggest hurdles for SMBs is simply resources.
Right.
Both budget and expertise.
So you might know what you need.
Yeah.
But actually being able to afford it and have the people to...
Exactly. Yeah. These systems can be expensive
to purchase,
to maintain, and they often require specialized knowledge. To set up and manage effectively.
It's like trying to build Fort Knox.
Right.
On a shoestring budget.
Yeah, exactly. You might know what you need, but actually getting it is a whole other story.
It's a whole other story. And even if you can afford the systems, finding someone to manage them can be tricky.
Especially
smaller businesses often don't have
like a dedicated
IT security team.
Right.
So
that responsibility falls on.
Yeah, it usually falls on somebody
who already has a full plate.
Who's already wearing multiple hats.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's not just about like buying the technology.
No.
It's about having the time and the expertise to
You gotta have the people.
make it work.
You gotta have the know-how.
For you.
Yeah, for sure.
And I've heard about this thing called alert fatigue.
Alert
has a big issue.
Oh, it's a huge problem.
What's that all about?
Okay, so these systems,
Yeah.
they can generate a massive number of alerts.
Okay.
And not all of them are critical.
Okay.
And so if you're constantly being bombarded with notifications, it's easy to become overwhelmed.
Yeah.
And start tuning them out.
Right. It's like the boy who cried wolf.
Exactly.
You get so used to the alarm bell ringing that you miss the real threat when it finally arrives.
That's exactly it.
So how do you deal with that?
Huh?
Is it just like you have to hire a team of security experts?
I mean, that's certainly an option for larger companies.
Yeah.
But it's not always feasible for smaller businesses.
For smaller businesses with limited budgets.
Yeah. There are more practical solutions, thankfully.
Okay.
One of the most effective is prioritizing.
Okay.
Not all alerts are created equal.
So instead of trying to address every single alert, you focus on the ones that pose.
You got to focus on the big ones.
The biggest threat.
The ones that are really going to hurt you.
So you think about it like, if you're running a retail store, an alert about a potential break-in attempt is going to be much higher priority.
Way higher priority.
Than an alert about someone trying to access a non-sensitive file.
Exactly.
Probably.
And there are tools and techniques
Yeah.
for categorizing alerts based on severity and potential impact.
So you can really
So you can focus your attention.
focus your attention where it matters most.
Where it matters most.
Okay, so it's about working smarter, not harder.
Right.
You need to cut through the noise.
Cut through the noise.
And identify the signals that really matter.
The important signals.
What about automating
Yes.
some of these processes?
Automation is key.
Okay.
There are tools out there that can help streamline that alert management process.
Okay.
They can filter out low priority alerts. They can correlate data from different systems.
Oh, wow.
And they can even automatically trigger certain responses.
Oh, wow.
So it frees up your team to focus.
So that takes a lot off your plate.
It takes a lot off your plate.
Yeah.
And lets them focus on the more complex issues.
That sounds like it could save a lot of time and headaches.
A lot of time, a lot of headaches.
What about outsourcing some of this?
Outsourcing.
I've heard of managed security services.
Managed security services.
Is that something that SMBs should consider?
Yeah, I think managed security services are a great option.
Okay.
For businesses that don't have the in-house expertise or the resources
to manage it all themselves.
To manage everything themselves.
So essentially you're partnering with a third-party provider.
Yeah. You're bringing in the experts.
They handle some or all.
Yeah, they handle the heavy lifting.
Reader.
They monitor your systems.
Yeah.
They manage alerts. They respond to incidents.
Wow.
And they even provide threat intelligence.
So it's like having a cybersecurity team on call without the overhead of hiring full-time staff.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
And finally, let's touch on this idea of a SIEM.
Security information.
Security information and event management.
And event management.
That's a mouthful.
Okay.
But it's a powerful tool.
SIEM. That's another one of those acronyms.
Yeah.
We need to unpack.
We do.
What is that?
So think of a SIEM as a central command center for your cybersecurity operations.
Got it.
Okay. So it's a platform that integrates data from all your different security systems. Your IDSIPs, your FEN, your WAFI, your antivirus.
Okay.
And it gives you a unified view.
So instead of looking at each system in isolation,
exactly,
you kind of get a holistic,
get the big picture
of what's happening across your whole network.
That's it.
So it's kind of like putting together.
It is like putting together
the pieces of a puzzle.
The pieces of a puzzle.
Right. Yeah.
You can start to see.
You can see the connections.
A bigger picture.
Yeah. And this makes it much easier to spot patterns, connect the dots, and identify complex threats
that might otherwise slip through the cracks.
It also helps with that alert fatigue.
It does.
We talked about earlier.
Yeah.
Because you can correlate alerts from different systems and get a more accurate picture.
A clearer picture.
Of what's really going on.
Of what's really happening.
So it sounds like a really powerful way to make sense of all this data.
Yeah, it's a game changer.
These alerting systems generate.
For sure.
But I'm curious about the future of all this.
The future.
Is there anything on the horizon
Ooh, good question.
That could make these systems even more effective,
Right.
or easier to manage for SMBs.
That's what we all want, right?
Yeah, it feels like technology is always
changing.
Changing what's cutting edge one day is outdated the next.
Yeah, you got to stay on top of it.
So what are some of the trends that you think are going to shape the future of cybersecurity alerting?
Well, one thing that's already having a big impact is the rise of machine learning and artificial intelligence.
AI.
Yeah.
So it's not just about humans, like setting rules for the system to follow.
Right.
The AI can actually...
The AI can learn and adapt on its own.
Wow.
Pretty amazing stuff.
And that's really important because, like we were talking about before, the threat landscape is constantly shifting.
It is.
Right.
Always changing.
New attacks are emerging all the time.
All the time.
So how do AI-powered systems...
Well, they can help us stay ahead of the curve by detecting those new threats and responding more effectively.
So it's kind of like...
It's like having a
superpowered
security guard.
Security guard.
Yeah. It's never tired and never misses anything.
That's awesome. And how does that benefit SMBs specifically?
Well, one big advantage is that AI can help reduce false positives.
Oh, yeah.
Those annoying alerts that turn out to be nothing serious.
Right. Those are the ones that cause all the alert fatigue.
That's exactly what causes alert fatigue.
Yeah.
So, if your team isn't constantly chasing down those phantom threats, they can focus on the real deal.
So it's not just about making the systems smarter.
Yes.
It's about making them...
It's about making them more efficient.
More efficient and less overwhelming.
And less stressful.
Yeah.
Yeah. For the people who are using them.
With humans.
For us humans.
Right.
Exactly.
What other advancements are you kind of excited about?
Okay. Well, another big one is the integration of threat intelligence feeds.
Threat intelligence feeds.
Yeah. Have you heard of these?
I've heard of them. I don't really know what they are.
Okay. So think of these as like real-time updates from the front lines
oh, wow.
of cybersecurity.
Okay.
So they provide information about emerging threats, attack techniques, and even the specific tactics used by certain hacker groups.
So it's like having...
It's like having
a network of spies.
Network of spies, yeah.
Constantly feeding you information about
the enemy's movement.
The enemy's movements.
That's a great way to put it.
It's like a digital war room.
Yeah, it is. It really is.
And so by incorporating this intelligence into our alerting systems, we can become much more...
We can be proactive. Yeah, instead of just reacting to attacks after they happen, we can anticipate them and take steps to prevent them.
That sounds like a game changer.
It is a game changer.
What about the cloud?
The cloud.
It seems like everything is moving to the cloud these days.
Everything is moving to the cloud.
Is the cloud playing a role in the future of cybersecurity?
Absolutely.
How so?
So cloud-based security solutions offer a number of advantages for SMBs.
Especially when it comes to like affordability.
Especially affordability and scalability.
Scalability.
So you don't have to invest in a lot of expensive hardware up front. And you can easily scale your security measures as your business grows.
That's huge.
It is huge. Yeah.
And cloud providers often have like dedicated security teams.
Dedicated teams.
And advanced technologies.
Yeah, that you might not be able to afford or manage on your own. So it's a
really compelling option.
Compelling option for a lot of SMBs.
It is.
Okay. So we've talked about the why.
Yeah.
The what, the challenges, the solution.
Yeah.
We even talked about the future.
The future.
Of cybersecurity alerting.
We did a deep dive.
It's been a really insightful deep dive.
I have a great time.
What's the one key takeaway you want to leave our listeners with?
I think the most important thing to remember is that cybersecurity is not just about technology.
Okay.
It's about people, processes, and culture.
So even with the most advanced systems in place?
Even with the best tech.
You still need...
I still need human awareness.
Right.
Vigilance.
Yeah.
And good cybersecurity practices.
To truly protect your business. To really keep things safe.
So it's not a set it and forget it kind of thing.
It's not.
You really have to be actively involved.
You got to stay on top of it.
And make it a part of your everyday operation.
Make it part of your routine.
That's great advice.
Thank you.
So invest in the right technology.
Yes.
Educate your employees and create a culture of security awareness.
That's it.
Within your organization.
Yeah. Get everyone on board.
It's an ongoing journey.
It is.
But it's essential for every business that wants to thrive in today's digital world.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Well, it's been great having you on the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
And thanks for sharing all your expertise with us.
My pleasure.
And to all our listeners out there, we hope this deep dive has given you a better understanding of the importance of cybersecurity alerting systems and how they can help protect your business. Stay curious, stay vigilant, and stay safe out there.